This season of Beyond the Brand is brought to you by Leader. For more information, visit leader.co. For many, learning feels like a chore or a source of immense stress. But our next guest believes that every mind is capable of brilliance when given the right tools. She's an expert educator and the founder of Inspired Learning Coaching. With a PhD and years of experience in the field, she specializes in moving students beyond the struggle and into a state of confidence and flow. She doesn't just teach subjects, she teaches people how to thrive. Please welcome Dr. Janet Curcio Wilson. And Dr. Janet, your brand is Inspired Learning Coaching. How is coaching different from the traditional tutoring most parents are familiar with?
Tutoring largely focuses on academics, learning the nuts and bolts, the 1, 2, 3s, the ABCs of whatever it is the content is demanding of the student, whereas coaching is broader. It focuses on how an individual learns, how they process information, what gets in the way, and how we can remove barriers to learning by bolstering strengths in their personality and in their academic approach to topics.
You often talk about the emotional side of learning. Why is it that a student can be brilliant but still struggle to perform in the traditional school setting?
Yeah, that's a real bugaboo, and it's getting worse with time. Roughly over 50 to 60% of any one classroom has either at-risk students who are identified with a home life that is substandard and difficult for them to perform in. And we also have, combined with that, an increase in identification of special needs students. So there's a huge increase in what we are demanding of our teachers that we never did demand previously. So the combination of those things makes it extraordinarily difficult for students to focus on simply just the learning when they're having so many emotional crises, either at home, in friendships, and now add social media to that, and you kind of have the perfect storm for kids to be highly distractible and dropping in their attentional abilities.
So how do you help?
That's actually the easy part for me. I spend time building on their strengths. Unfortunately, special education, just like psychology, went down the road of the medical model, which is a model of dis-ease. What is wrong with you? What does not work? And so we have 14 different identifications, for example, in the state of New Hampshire, identifying disabilities, the things kids can't do. And so now we are faced for the first time with the potential of looking at a growth model through coaching that says, how about we focus on the other side? Because there's so much more to what constitutes a brilliant child or where the child's brilliance might be located. And so we focus heavily on the things a kid or an adult, because I coach adults who are also, learning disabilities is not something you grow out of suddenly. There's no magic bullet for this. You have it for your whole life. And so through college, that where it gets academically more difficult, a learning disability can be very difficult. And Section 504 of IDEA, Individuals with Disability Education Act, covers rights for individuals who are adults who have learning difficulties.
Do you find there's a common thread between, say, middle schoolers and adults struggling with math or anything in their career?
Yeah, there's definitely a thread, because how an individual approaches a topic is highly individualistic. So an individual might have had a math teacher, let's say in middle school, and learned that they hated math because they couldn't relate to that individual, and it was one of the difficult moments where they were incapable of getting over the hurdle of not liking this particular individual. And they may not even be conscious of it as an adult, but it colored the way they saw an academic field, when in actuality, it started with a personality conflict.
We live in an age of constant distraction. You talked about social media. How do you help your clients build the executive function skills that they need to focus and manage their time effectively?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Well, that's as individual as the person coming to see me and how much they are willing to work on that. I use a couple of different strategies. NASA created a games-based program called Play Attention that structures gaming as a way to fill that gap between aptitude and actually understanding what you are paying attention to. And Play Attention is an 18-month to 2-year-long program that I can do anywhere in the United States because I can do it remotely and work with an individual to actually strengthen ADD, ADHD, and fill that gap, because you can't have an astronaut out there unaware of the learning gaps that they have. They must know what they are and be able to fill them. And so this particular research-based, games-based process or product allows for beginning to get an individual engaged so deeply with their own learning that they recognize what it feels like in real time to be gapping, to actually lose attention repeatedly. And once the person knows what it feels like, they begin to realize, gee, I thought I was doing 100% attention. Excuse me. And instead, this is constantly measuring me at 60% or 55%. How is that possible? And it's because they've gotten used to giving it their all, but it's not. They're not giving their all. They're giving 60%. It's just they believe that is their all. So this particular program is one of the things that I use, which is electronically based. The other program that I engage in is my Infinite Mind program, and that requires me to engage with an individual using hypnotherapy. And hypnotherapy addresses the unconscious portion of the mind that does not really engage consciously with what's going on, but can certainly get in the way of learning and get in the way of making relationships work well in their world.
What's been the response to your program thus far?
I've been delighted. I have individuals all across the country from all different ages, and I think beginning to release my PhD work on regenesis is helping, because I'm beginning to get individuals now who understand that I myself went through a near-death experience as a child, and that experience changed the way I related to academics, and it changed the way I relate to helping individuals build their own infinite mind capacities.
So it sounds like you've learned along this whole journey as well.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that you can give without receiving.
Absolutely. Now, for those ready to transform their relationship with learning, where can they find your coaching programs, resources, etc.?
I'm at inspiredlearningllc.net, and hopefully we'll release my book later this year called Regenesis: From Chaos to Conscious Co-Creation.
Oh, sounds fascinating. Dr. Janet Curcio Wilson, thank you for joining us today and for providing your insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
And we'll be right back with more BizTV right after this. Be sure to scan the QR code on your screen to sign up for BizTV's monthly newsletter, The Biz Beat, where you'll get articles, business news, and columns by BizTV's personalities, all sent directly to your inbox.